on your yarmulke. Time to celebrate Hanukkah. So much Hanukkah to celebrate Hanukkah. I have a yarmulke and let's celebrate Hanukkah. O.J. Simpson. Not a hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the happy hour. I was on mute the whole time. Welcome. I am Lou Betya, introing the show for once because Monk's voice is not great. And if you don't know anything about me, I can talk for days. Monk, how do we feel about the card this week?
Dude, we feel good. There's really not too many, news bulletins out. It's really not a very busy day in MMA or a very busy week at all. So really, I'm sure all we're going to talk about is these fights, which are looking pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Unless you know something I don't. I mean, I've been following so closely. I couldn't imagine I missed anything.
Well, I'd like to talk about the Krause stuff. I mean, like, for once we have this advantage of this time slot.
Yeah.
Since we're like the first show. Where's Mushroom? Fuck off, Greg. Look, hold on. I'm past the 30 seconds that Brady told me I'm allowed to curse.
That's true.
Before we get to the James Krause stuff, let me just shout out the chat if I can. We got Propaholic, my guy, just hit 100 followers. Guy's getting his following going. I did rip on him badly for getting a green screen, and then his first video he made was the green screen as a tarp. He has since adjusted to that. We got Jared Curry. We got Uncle Weezy. We got Dale from Punch List MMA. If you're not following Punch List, I was on there a few weeks ago. Show was hysterical. Dale's fucking hilarious. Go follow them right now. We got Pat, Addicted to Combat. We got Larson asking for Mushroom, who will show up right at the end and say that he got stuck doing something. Or he's just eating right now.
Philly's Joey Diaz. That's what I like to call him.
He's still finished up his lunch. Or he's like moved on to
Flavor Town.
Or like the fifth cannoli. We got Daz from the Gold Coast. And we got PSSA 3-1. Guys, before we get to the card, first of all, thank you for tuning in. Please hit the like button if you can. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm pretty sure everybody in the stream already has subscribed. Feel free to go make multiple accounts and subscribe to get our numbers up. We don't have a problem. JP, let's go. Love from the Netherlands. Ooh.
Yeah.
So Netherlands, we may have to talk about that too. We got Colstein, my guy. Philly Joe Diaz. Netherlands, Monk. I don't know if you've been following this soccer
little
thing
bit
that's going on. Well, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, Netherlands, U.S.
Oh,
and I have a debate right now. I am like the Glass Joe of betting. I'm 1 in 99 on my last 100 soccer bets.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, do I bet the Netherlands just to make
to
get the U.S. through to the next round?
That's a good strategy. You might have to go with it.
I may do that. I will decide sometime tomorrow morning. Larson and a few of my other buddies, Tom. Your friend Tom.
Yeah.
Tom L.
Yeah. Big shout out first. I'm interrupting. Yeah, go ahead. No, I'll interrupt you after.
No. Tell the people with Tom. I know what you want to say. Go ahead.
I mean, I want to shout out Big Tom, Vanessa, Blake, and Lil Tom because these guys have come through for me in the clutch. Set me a little care package. Some of Philly's finest treats. I have so many freaking tasty cakes that I'm working through. It is incredible. Also, Lou, I haven't opened these yet because they look so fucking good. What are your thoughts on these bad boys? Because the box screams yes, the cinnamon screams fuck yes, and I'm gonna be screaming you're gonna hear sounds of pleasure from me when I'm eating these.
Well, I mean, I'm drinking cinnamon whiskey on air, so like,
man,
and also mushroom. That's like mushrooms, like starter kit.
This one.
How many?
Nice.
I mean, mushroom
and tasty cakes and these bad boys. I'm on the road to I'll try to be mushroom too. Maybe I'll put my live resin vape up next to it before I crack these boys open.
So before you break down the card, since it just happened in the last half an hour, and I'm looking to see if there's like literally any new updates. UFC roster watch just tweeted. Interestingly enough, Krause himself is still listed as part of the active roster. That's kind of interesting. So I'm very curious what everybody in chat has to say. Like, chime in. Like, I want to address this. So if you're just tuning in and you haven't been following along, James Krause has been suspended by Nevada, the Nevada Gaming Commission, the Alberta Commission of like literally weed, alcohol, and gambling, which Weezy and I have already sent our resumes to work there. They have banned UFC betting, so them in Ontario now. And I got to imagine by the pay-per-view, I got to think it's going to sweep through all of Canada. I'm speculating. I don't know. I'm not Gordo. I don't speak for Canada. And the most important thing is that any fighter affiliated with Glory and James Krause is no longer allowed to fight in the UFC. As far as tomorrow goes, Dale had mentioned this. Here we go. It's no Glory fighters going forward. Marcelo Rojo, who is fighting Francis the Fire Marshall. Sorry, the name just works.
Is that his name?
Well, yeah, because he didn't have a nickname on the Contender Series, and Sanko said you should be the Fire Marshal. He's like, all right, I'm in.
Christ.
so that fight is still live. I imagine Marshall was like minus 165. I haven't looked at what he is now, but
minus 265 probably.
I don't know. He may get steamed here, but this will be the last guy from Glory for a while. I imagine. We'll talk about the repercussions and kind of how this is going to go. What's up, Prince of Mischief?
It's a fucking shame. Long story short, it's a goddamn shame, Lou. It's a goddamn shame. James Krause should be, I mean, for lack of a better word, ashamed of himself. This guy's out here.
Shame this man.
For months bragging about how, I make more in gambling than I do as a coach. I'll rent your account and make bets for you, and then we'll fucking roll around in the money, but you don't get paid unless we win. Like, this nonsense has been going on. I'm surprised the UFC, it took them this long to do absolutely anything. This is fucking ridiculous. It's a disgrace. Fuck James Krause, man. Fuck James Krause for doing all this. I mean, the writing's been on the wall. You've seen this in other sports way back. Everybody who's watching this knows who Pete Rose is. Everybody who's watching this knows who Tim Donaghy is. These motherfucking guys. Pete Rose is probably the least bad out of this trio, but James Krause is right up there for me with just, this is a shameful fucking act. And I can't be too upset for Canada because they do have legal weed and poutine, but I will be as upset as I possibly can. This trash, and it honestly, it pisses me off that this guy's allowed to go do stuff like this. So I'm glad there's sanctions coming down. I am genuinely sad that it affects our viewership, anybody that likes to gamble on the weekends with these fights in Canada. I am sad for them, but man, I hope they get this shit figured out, and it's going to make the sport better for sure. Get this dude the fuck out of here.
I mean, look, I'm going to come at this from a little different angle and arrive at the same conclusion as you. As somebody who grew up with like watching boxing in its prime, like Tyson and all this like weird, like it's been a corrupt part of boxing for so long. And the one thing that was nice about the UFC, and I'm going to throw somebody under the bus that's going to come out of nowhere here, but the one thing that was nice about watching the UFC for years and years and years was it was as simple as you're going to have a title fight, you're going to have a number one contender fight, and they don't have to be the most thrilling guys, but it was a very clear pecking order. Like, okay, like the contender won the champ, like this guy won the title, like here's the next fight. And here we go. And now we got this guy.
That's true.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not trying to say that Brandon Olivas like rigged bare knuckle boxing to win $1 billion, but I'm not saying it.
Well, he does it right. I listened to him in DeFranco's show today.
Thank you for showing up, my guy.
And they anytime they come across a fighter that they're coaching, a fighter that they have anything to do with, they're like, "Oh, we're not talking about this." Perfect. That's what you should do. I thought that was common sense, but sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that was it. What was your? You said you were going to arrive at the same conclusion.
Hold on.
Yeah, just shameful. I'll continue to shame James Krause while Lou is typing. Shame. I'll even do the finger shame. Shame.
I'm trying to do something awesome right now that you'll appreciate.
I know I will. That's why you're the best. But yeah, it's just.
By the way, Monk,
he's been so public about it. Why did it take this long?
Monk, do you love me?
I do.
Okay, I'm gonna remove this for now. Just for now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's get up close and personal with the
I'm
people.
just gonna remove that for now. Oh shit. Okay. We maybe delayed because of sexy time, but just if you guys trust me, you've been watching the show, just trust me. So what I'm saying is we've dealt with sports where there's been levels of match fixing, but like it's not combat sports exclusively. You want to talk about football? Like there's been shit in football for years, like with refs that have credit problems. Like the mafia's gone after them. You can call holding every goddamn play if you want. Like there's ways to do it. Basketball, we had Tim Donahue. I think you referenced him
Yeah,
earlier
shaving
today.
points.
I'm just saying is like there's ways to do it in every sport. Like baseball, look, honestly, the strike zone, like you different
Yep.
ups, different things. So unfortunately, I think this is just an iteration of it. But like, and as an IT guy for 20 years, I've worked in security for 20 years. Somebody hacks our site, somebody hacks a program, you come up with a fix, and the next iteration of hacking begins.
Mm-hmm.
This is a constant ebb and flow in not just gambling, but in in everything. So is this an overreaction? It's an overreaction by the Canadian betting markets, in my opinion.
Sure.
I don't know that it's an overreaction against Krause's camp because, and I say this because we don't know what their investigation has turned up. We just don't know. They're keeping it all because all you hear from Dana White is like, "Oh, it's your fault if you lost the bet." It's like easy, pal. Like eat another bacon wrapped Oreo.
Excuse me. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, so there's maybe that's what makes me even more upset is because was so blatant and so obvious. Like he didn't try it, and I guess that's the first step if you're going by your iteration theory, which I subscribe to. This is the first step. So then you block this, then the next guys are going to come through. But you're right. How can we know as the camp if you're another coach of that camp and you hear and see James Krause talking about, oh, he makes more from gambling? You're going to want to be like, hey, James, like, what are you fucking betting on this week, my guy? And so it could be all through the coaching staff, and who knows? You're exactly right. We don't know what the investigations turned up.
So I want to share a story before what I hope is gonna before we get to the breakdown will happen. So I used to deal.
It will.
So in Philadelphia, we just got like legal casinos like 10 years ago. Before that, we had a bunch of private card rooms, and I used to deal cards after like they needed a dealer one night, and then I dealt tournament, and then I just kept dealing because I was good at it. And I was like, oh shit, I can walk out of here guaranteed with money every night. And then I could play at the club once a week. And now I know how every goddamn person plays because they're like, Rob, like, look what I folded. Look what I folded. Look what I folded. I'm like, cool. I know every fucking hand you guys play. So we would have been in business still. And I'd have worked 4 nights a week, making like $4,000 in cash, like tax free. So what ruined it? The guy that owned it, wanted to over rake the pot.
Sure.
And I don't know if you guys know how like rake shit works, but like you're supposed to take like $1 every $10 up to 50. And that's it, $5 a pot. And he's like, no, take 5 every 100. I'm like, no, dude, they're going to notice. No. Well, I need it. Okay, I'm not doing it. The other thing he did is he wasn't content with the fact that he was making a shit ton of money for like running for no maintenance. He's going on like fucking Poker Stars, on Craigslist. He's promoting his like casino.
Oh, geez.
So all it takes in that situation is one fucking player that has a bad experience, that loses, whatever, to call the fucking state police and be like, hey, they're running like an illegal gambling ring. So the place got busted. Like, thank God for me, it was on my off night. But like, well, I mean, none of us are like employees technically, like,
right.
Paid under the table, but like, and I feel like with Krause, maybe he could have like kind of done this and like gotten away with it in limited spots.
Of course he could have.
And look, another thing we don't know is, come on, where is this guy?
He's not the only coach betting, I'm sure.
But what we don't know it. Like the thing is we don't still know the full extent of like the Discord stuff. Like there's a lot of talk about like Onama losing which by the way, on this very show, I said, I like landlord decision at +900. Thank you very much. I called that one. Nate the Train, and I live bet him. But the Onama loss seemed to have set off this chain of events where that's where his Discord got crushed. A lot of dudes.
Oh yeah,
that was, and then like
I got to make it back now.
And then the Mana Martinez fight was the first time I was ever like, this is weird, because it's not a problem that he's screaming at Martinez to get a finish after the second round, because it might have been 1-1. Like,
sure,
I had it 2-0, but it could have been 1-1. I understand that. But the venom in his eyes to say, you need to fucking finish him. All right, I want to bring in a guest that's going to know a little more than us, and he put a shirt on, which is excellent. Please welcome Brandon Olivas to the program.
What's up, Brandon?
Nice meeting you. Can you hear us?
His face says no.
Hey, sorry.
Oh, there we go.
You may be good at winning bets and fighting, but I'm good at IT. So if you want to know, like, if I can help you with IT, let me know.
Jeez, man, that was I had to find my AirPods. I had to find my stuff in my computer. I had to log into Twitter. That was a million different. I'm the worst with this stuff on earth ever.
So thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. And look, Monk and I are going to shut the fuck up, and I just want to hear your opinion on all this.
On the Krause stuff?
Yes, sir.
I mean, well, or like, do you have fashion advice? Like, dude, the floor is yours. You do whatever you want.
Well, man, you know what? There's been fixed fights for the history of ever. It's funny. I feel like almost every event, every single week is fixed in some form or fashion. Like, not to get man of the library on here, but you know, I was watching a boxing event in Prescott, right? Small boxing event. Nobody was even on the card. And you're just watching these guys get hit with one punch that barely grazes them and they're falling over. For example, this one's like the clearest fixed fight. The Jake Paul and Anderson Silva undercard, right? Watch the I don't know if it was the co-main event or the Sylvie guy. What's his name? Sylvie, the really good boxer.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm looking it up. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Watch that fight. Tell me that fight's not fixed. I was standing there 10 feet away from the ring. The other guy's got 30, 40 fights.
Ashton Sylvie.
Yeah. He gets hit top of the head, right? I'm a fighter, man. You get hit in the chin. Okay, it could be a different story. You're out. He gets hit top of the head, stands up, falls back down, stands up, falls back down. And then 10 seconds later, he's okay. He's fine again. Like, it really wasn't even on the temple. It was kind of like top of the forehead. So watch that fight. Tell me that's not fixed, right? That's boxing. UFC, man, how many fights have looked fixed over the years, right? Or even the Bruno Silva. We see this guy go to war with Alex Pereira, and then he gets his ass beat by GM3. Like, there's so many of these things you just got to watch. And
come on,
like,
it's my dude.
What the hell is going on?
GM3's my guy. Come on, man.
Should have been a more competitive fight than what we saw, right?
Sure. But you know better than us. Like, I mean, you're in the trenches. Like, you see this. Like, so can I ask you? So where do we go from here? Like, is there a way to fix this? Is there a way to make it better? Like,
hey, hold on one second. What is the YouTube name for you guys for this show?
MMA Engine.
MMA Engine.
I'll send you the link if you want.
I just want to pull up the like the comments, and then I'll mute the. And I can't spell either.
I'll link. I'll send it to you right now, dude.
All right, I got it. Where do we go from here? Well, you know, the funny part is, like, you know, I used to talk to managers and stuff when we were first starting this betting stuff. And I would ask them, like, hey, are you guys allowed to bet on fights? That seems a little disingenuous, right? You know the ins and outs of all these guys. You know how their weight cut's gone, how their camp's gone. You know if they have injuries. Are you allowed to bet on them all? And they're like, yeah, pretty much right now it's the wild, wild west. Like, there's no rules, no regulations. Like, if this were any other sport, you'd be out of here. So I think finally it's just going to correct itself to what almost all the other professional leagues are, right?
Do you think how bad do you think? I don't know if they jump too far here with the whole Canada thing, but do you think this is going to go across most provinces before it tends to even out? Because right now, obviously, it's off a cliff.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I think everyone's being a little bit parabolic. It's such a big market, such a big industry. People lose so much money on UFC. If you think the books are happy with keeping UFC off there, I mean, you're crazy. They want to get it back as soon as possible. It's just a warning shot while the Krause stuff settles. I mean, I don't know what happens to him. I have a little bit more knowledge than I think some people do on that situation, and so we'll see how all that pans out. But you know, it'll be back.
Can we agree that Santino DeFranco is a national treasure and should be protected at all costs?
Yeah, I could agree to that.
When you took the link, you had to realize that you had to deal with my foolishness. So I apologize for that.
No, that's okay.
So, all right. So I mean, I don't want to dude, I don't want to say the last thing. I want to keep you on as long as I can, but I realize that you put a shirt on and it's probably killing you to wear a shirt.
No. I'm fat right now, so I'm good with a shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, you're fat. How old are you?
26.
Oh, fuck you. I mean, I said that with all respect. Fuck you, dude. I just turned 45, man. Like, you know how hard it is to look as good as I look? Do you know what I have to do in the morning? Do you know what gods I have to pray to every day of my life to even maintain being like 160 pounds at this point? Come on, you young kids today. I have a question. I have a weird question. Not a weird question, but like, so like I listen to your pod. Like I love, so when you hit, you're hilarious. Like, I'm not saying hilarious, like whatever. When you had your like nice night, because I'm trying not to like incriminate whatever. Can I just ask what the thought process was in like handicapping BKFC?
It's the easiest thing in the world, and unfortunately, you know, this is the part that makes me really sad. Is you know, we have a Patreon as well. You know, Santino's not super active. He does mostly breakdowns and analysis and puts out like long form stuff. I do most of the betting and the bet slips and stuff like that. It didn't happen by accident. I mean, it wasn't by accident. You guys can ask anybody in the Discord. 3 events in a row on bare knuckle. I was one person short of 1.7 million, 2 million, 3 million. 3 events in a row, and one guy lost. So it wasn't by accident that this happened. I told everybody that week, I told every single person, you can ask anybody in the Discord. I said, guys, this is the week that I'm going to make the million. I would load up now. I would do this. I would go as hard as you can on this because it's never going to happen again. And I don't know if you guys keep up with the bare knuckle odds, but I've been spending my entire day today trying to figure out a way I can get any money down. And it's impossible between every book. They're limiting it. The odds are insane. Like there's no props anymore. I single-handedly destroyed one entire market for everybody. And I know it sounds like
can you bet more than $8
that's awesome.
Right now?
That's
can
awesome.
You bet? Do they allow you to bet more than like $8 on a fight right now on TK? Or they just like murdered you? They're like, fuck you.
Well, it's weird. They didn't murder me as bad as I have this weird relationship with them. They didn't murder me as bad as they murdered actually all of my friends, even though I made the most money. So right now on DraftKings, I can get about $1,700 down on a single fight. Like, so on one fight, but if I parlay something, my max is $80.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Even 200. All right.
Yeah. It's $80, but you know, I've been consulting friends to put money down in bare knuckle. And even the most that my friends can wager is about $500 on DraftKings. And that's insane because the week that I did it, I had like $24,000 bets, $15,000 bets. I was laying everything down, no issues. Now the max is about $500. Every other one is juiced like minus 1,200 favorites, minus 700 favorites, which is not something that we saw. And actually part of the reason I exploited them was because DraftKings wasn't moving their lines. Bet Online, our sponsor, they were the roadmap, right? That's where the sharp book is, and that's where the lines adjust and move. But DraftKings didn't think it was a big enough market to move their lines. So I would just use Bet Online as my roadmap and then go bet it on DraftKings. They listed props, and it was insane. You have professional boxers and guys who are good, hometown favorites, ticket sellers fighting meth heads that need money. And the KO prop, which a sport that 80% of the fights end in knockout, is minus 100. It's even money for that or plus money. Oh, come on.
Dave Mason has made that book really like player friendly. He's accessible and he actually like cares about our input as gamblers.
Yeah. I mean, he don't respond to me. I call him Big Dick Dave, and I say, he's my employer. He never responded to me, but that's okay. He serves his purpose too. But yeah, man, it just, the thought process was I did a lot of studying. I spent every night, studying, watching for 2 weeks. I put a team together, a team of guys. We put a team together. We had documents uploaded. We had a whole spreadsheet. We message these guys. We talk to them. We see what's going on in their world, in their head. It's not just like I'm watching a couple film and then I'm making a blind guess. Like we went really, really deep with that one. So I told everybody, it's funny, a week before that happened, I called my grandma. I said, Grandma, in a week, my life's about to be very, very different. I'm going to be a millionaire in a week. And she's like, oh, sure, honey. Yeah, sure. And then I got to call my grandma the next day and be like, hey, you know what I told you last week? Well, it actually happened.
That's awesome. Oh man.
If you can find a book where you can bet on soccer, I will give you my picks and do literally the exact opposite of everything I'm going to tell you to do.
There you
Because
go.
I am like 1 in 99 this World Cup, and like you will be a fucking millionaire.
The Jay
Just-
Ellis.
Like you will, yeah. I'm the Jay Ellis of betting the World Cup this year. Like no matter what I do, I lose. So like if you want to make money on a different book, they'll be like, they'll never suspect you're like you're a fucking same guy. They'll be like, oh, now he's betting soccer. Like, all right.
You know what's so funny is on DraftKings. So we talked about my crowns. I'm like so close to 1 million crowns, and I want to get it. I'm gonna get it. I have a month left.
Why?
Get it. I need
For
it.
what purpose?
They give me weeks free in like Hawaii. Like
you're exchanging. You're exchanging them in like the shop.
What's that?
You're using them to exchange in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't need them for anything else.
You're not like, oh man, I need like 800 more in my account. I understand. All right.
I wish it was even that much. Like 1 million crowns is the equivalent of like $1,500. I'm like, all right, come on, you guys. Bovada gives way better bonuses than that for like $300.
Were you any funny tier coming into this year on DraftKings?
I don't even know. I don't think gambling was really legal this year. I hit gold really quickly on MGM, and then I got in trouble with MGM a few times. So I think I started DraftKings seriously right around the Peter Yan fight when he lost to Aljo. So the Peter Yan Aljo 2. That's when I started DraftKings as my main book, my full time.
When the year turns over, you're gonna actually start reaping the benefits more than you know. Like I've been riding platinum. Oh my God, dude. I've been riding like platinum tier all year, and I've actually been spending less time on DraftKings, but they just throw shit at me like all goddamn year for doing it last year because I love Spanish blackjack. Like, because I have a fucking problem like playing Spanish 21. Like, you're a casino player there. They're like, what do you need? What do you fucking need? Like, but yeah, like once the year turns over, you're locked into that tier the whole year. And like,
yeah,
dude, they're gonna like fucking give you like, hey, you haven't gambled here in a while. And you're gonna be like, yeah, my limits suck. They'd be like, okay, cool. Here's like,
well, what I was gonna say about like you and the soccer, right? First of all, I put out a tweet. I was like, you guys are all gambling addicts, and then I followed that tweet up with like, stop betting on the World Cup. Like, come on, like nobody's making money on the World Cup, and if they tell you are, they're lying. Have you guys seen that app Pick It?
Yeah.
So I downloaded it like a few weeks ago. And I got to say that was alarming to me because of how bad I am at almost every other sport. Like hockey, I love hockey. It's like my favorite sport to watch, like outside of MMA. And I'm like minus like $14,000 for the year. Baseball, I'm down. Like every single sport, I'm like 5 digits down because I just, have fun with it. I throw it, fuck it. Here's it. So they love me. Other sports, I'm not limited. I could get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K down on any other sport that I want to. MMA, it's $80 parlays and $1,700 singles. So
can I ask you 2 quick questions? Like, before I know, like, I don't want to take up all your time, but like,
no, I got as much time as you guys want. Tell my computer guys.
Outside of the, I mean, at this point, like, I don't even care about the gambling show. Like, what's your favorite sport? Like, not from a gambling perspective. Like, what's just your favorite sport to watch?
I hate watching sports, man. I used to love sports. Like when I was a kid, I was like obsessed. One of those kids that knew every stat, everything. These days, I hate watching sports. To me, it's just so much of a time suck. And I have a million different things that I got to get done, right? Between the Patreon business we have, training, like for my actual thing, my real job. Like I have so much stuff to do that if I don't have money on it, like I am not interested even in the least bit. So the answer to that question is hockey is the only sport like I would actually buy a ticket to watch on TV. Like I'll put it on for background noise. And I love hockey. And that only happened within the last year.
Who's your squad?
I go between a bunch of different ones. I'm like the most fair weather fan. Last year I really liked
players. Is it like you just like players? Or okay, that's fine.
Well, I love Robertson of the Dallas Stars. I really like the Dallas Stars. That's one of my teams. I like the Flames. Those are probably the 2 teams I like.
All right, and I got this is another question. So like, again, because I'm like 90 years older than you, like I started gambling and like when we had the blue ticket guy in the corner of South Philly. So
I love it. I love it.
So like, do you like what was like the first bet you ever made? Like, what sport was it? Like, what was like what even got you into being like, I have to bet this? Because like I got into betting not because of sports, because of darts. because in like Philly, darts are like a massive thing, and I'm betting like $10 a game, and I'm like, oh shit, all right, and then somebody's like, oh, you should bet football, and I'm like, okay. So like, what sport was like your first time you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna throw money down?
Honestly, I can't remember because sorry, my dog's barking, but I can't remember. I had a Bovada account for years and years, and then like all of a sudden I one day, so this is the thing. I kept seeing people on Instagram like making tons of money. You've seen those accounts, like the guy sitting in a Jaguar with like stacks of cash. He's like, you could be like me, pick my plays, right? And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, if I could just tail him and I don't have to do any research.
I have a Chevy Nova, so yeah, I know all this. Yeah, I'm the prototype.
Yeah, so I started buying people's picks. I remember like Cody parlays or whatever. And I remember paying $250 and then losing all my money on top of that. And I was crushed. I had no money to lose at the time, right? So then I found this guy, UFC Shark. And actually, he's still a buddy of mine to this day, but I bought his packages. They were super expensive, like $150 a card. And I was like, okay, but this guy seems to know what he's got going on. I see him on the TV, all this stuff. And it lost. And then he gave me a week free. It lost again. And then I bought one more week saying, all right, this is the time. And it lost again. Like nothing even hit, not even one parlay. And I like him a lot. He's a good guy. But I was just like, dude, fuck this. I know fighting better than anybody. I train with all the best guys in the world. Like I could fucking do this. So, I was some stupid little bets. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to study. I'm going to do this for real. So I remember going to Santino's house one night and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about like helping me out, giving me your feedback on some of these fights? He's like, yeah, no problem. So then we started actually just doing it for real. So like first real bet has always been MMA. I don't know shit about basketball, football. Like some guys are really good with that. I am awful at all of it. MMA is just kind of what I know. And just as far as actual betting, I'm just a complete ape still. I have no clue like any of the terms or anything means, but I just know fights. And so first bet was like Warley Alves. That was like I call it my first real bet when he fought Jeremiah Wells and just got destroyed.
Hold on. Sorry. Wells Philly guy. It's all right. Yeah, our show's so we have a different kind of show tonight. This is awesome.
Yeah. I was gonna say, while he's doing his thing, guys, be sure. I mean, this guy's one of the brightest guys in the space for sure. He has a podcast with Santino DeFranco for free anywhere you get podcasts, MMA breakdowns and bets with Santino DeFranco and Brandon Olivas. Please check it out. Subscribe. You will be doing yourself a favor by doing that. Two of the best guys to listen to in the space for sure.
So can we cap a fight from 2 weeks from now?
Yeah. What do we got? So
I heard you on Clint's show, and like, I'm not impressed because I did Clint's show Monday finally. Balls. So Clint has this enmity with Cody Brundage, and I heard your take that he was going to get killed by Vieira.
Yes, he would have.
Now, okay. Now I am a friend of, well, he's a friend of our channel.
Okay.
Cody is the first guy we ever interviewed. We've only interviewed, you're the third fighter ever on our channel, and we very much appreciate you spending time with us. Cody Brundage, Uncle Wheezy and I interviewed Cody Brundage, and he owes me money because he said first round submission against Gore, and then he knocked him out. And like 10 minutes after he won, he's like, hey, sorry, dude. The knockout was there. So I'd like to just ask why you thought Vieira would win. And I'm only asking, this is not like me being biased, although I'm completely biased. Because to me, Vieira seems like a guy, one of the things that like as fans and as cappers, cardio is like that's one of the first things we have to look at is cardio. And like Vieira's cardio has just been so suspect over the years that like, and for me, Brundage, his best quality is like he's got really good cardio. So I was curious as to why you thought you just thought he would wreck Cody and like cardio wouldn't be a factor, I guess.
No, not necessarily. Well, this is the way that I look at it. So one thing that I noticed when I started like watching film, I started tweeting again. Like I started getting like involved in the community. One of the I used to always like be really angsty. Now I don't give a shit. People could say whatever they want, think what they want. But one of the buzzwords that just always drove me crazy was cardio. Everyone just always talks cardio, but they don't really know what that means. Like Rodolfo Vieira is built like a guy that should not have good cardio and does not necessarily have good cardio. But I think more than that is actually how you fight, how you manage your cardio. Honestly, you watch that fight with Chris Curtis. Yeah, he lost every round, but man, he kept up a fucking good pace. I mean, I can't tell you how much wind it takes out of you to shoot a shot and not get it. He shot what 20 something times on Chris Curtis and didn't get a single one.
22,
and he was,
I believe. Yeah.
Oh, and he was still fighting till the very end. So you watch the Fluffy Hernandez fight, and then you watch that fight, and to me, that's like, oh, it's a tale of two humans. Like one guy gassed out in 2 minutes, and then the other guy went 15 hard minutes. So the way that I look at it, I mean, I guess cardio might be Brundage's best thing, but I'm not a fan of his striking. I think wrestling wise, he's a college wrestler, but I think he makes the worst wrestling decisions I've ever seen. He drops for guillotines. He drops for submissions. Try dropping for a submission on Rodolfo Vieira. Let's see how well that goes. Striking wise, I just think that Rodolfo's actually his in and out movement and that kind of karate stance and balance and style. I think he's got a great jab. I just think he's more fundamentally sound in every spot. And then he's got the explosive power. He's got the elite submission game. I just think he's a better fighter through and through. Nothing against Cody. Because possibly wins that fight, yeah, but I don't even think that would have been a competitive one in my eyes.
I'm already sending him over to your house.
He already likes and follows some of my stuff too. So I don't mean it disrespectfully, just breaking down the fight and watching it. I just had Rodolfo. I thought
he's a super nice guy. So he's fighting in 2 weeks. I don't know. Did you see the announcement?
Yeah, I saw that one. I can't wait. I'm going to have to make a trip to that.
That's Lord Michael. That's a tough fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to be making a trip for that one.
Nice. Can we just do quick picks and then we end the show?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, because I don't want to let Brandon go. Like, I mean, I don't sound like a stalker, but like, I'm not letting him go. How many chances am I going to get? I'm in my fucking 40s. All right, I know who's going to say it, but I love hearing it. I'm just going to rip through the card. Monk, yay or nay, DFS. Brandon can say whatever the fuck he wants. I'm going to just be quick. All right, Nunez, Haragui. I think I said that correctly. I'm saying it. That's how Bert. Do you know Bert MMA?
Yes.
So if my pronunciation is only based if Bert says it, like it's Dana Batjeri. It's not like Wheezy and Brady and these other hacks that say Batgarel. If Bert says Batjeri, it's Batjeri. So
hey, that's Nunez, my boy. We got to be careful with him now. That's my new big. I call him the big Mongolian. No,
Batjeri.
Dana.
Yeah, he's at Fight Ready. He's my big
Mongolian. I do too. I love that guy.
Look, who's the guy? Maybe it's not him. Who's the Mongolian murderer? Is it him or is it?
That's near to BK, isn't it?
No.
Oh yeah.
So Brandon, does he?
That's my other buddy.
Question. Does he murder Mongolians, or is he a Mongolian that murders people?
Yeah, he's a Mongolian that murders people. There's a whole mix-up of crazy Mongolians there. He's the only one missing right now. We got Dana and Haley.
The next question should have been about his shitty wall, but I'll move on.
Yeah.
All right, so Brandon starts off. Nunez, Jaragui. I already know your pick here, but I love hearing why.
Yeah, I'm going to go Nunez. And actually, the cardio argument we just talked about, I think those first two matchups were really hard because you have two girls that press a lot. And Sam Hughes didn't fuck off, and Nunez was having to throw bombs, right? When you throw that hard, you're going to get tired. I think this fight is much more of a counter punching fight, and you're going to have two girls that are going to stick there right with each other. I like Nunez kicks a lot better. I think the cardio will be much, much improved in this fight just based on styles. I'm never one of these line is wide guys, but for me, this line is super, super wide. And I love Estela Nunez, and we got the same taste in women. So I'm going Estela Nunez on this one.
I am a line is wide guy, and this line's crazy wide.
Yeah. 3.5 to 1 is insane.
And for somebody who like honestly was on a San Diego card that felt like a contender series fight, like I'm not criticizing it. I'm saying is you had two people on a card that like, why are they on the main card of a, the UFC? Like it didn't make sense. It was placement. So to me, that was like a contender series fight. I'm not laying 3 to 1 on her. And there's a big difference. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a big difference between stand-up cardio and like grappling cardio. Like I don't think Nunez.
And you could do shitty stuff standing. Like what I'm saying is like I was watching the Sam Hughes fight. Sam's just charging forward, and Nunez is throwing these hooks from hell trying to get her off of her, and that will burn you out just the same as like if you wrestled hard and you didn't get it. So I think that too. Now people are going to think like I'm saying Yaz is not good or Yaz can't win the fight. I think Yaz probably ends up winning this fight, but I think the fight is a lot closer than it's lined as it is. And I think honestly both these girls are really good. I think they're both like good girls in the division. So I'm not like going against Yaz. I think she's a stud. I wish they gave her an easier matchup. Then I would put the house on her.
Is it too much too soon? You think, or
No, it's just a tough enough test where you're like, if you guys are trying to build her gently like they did with Sean O'Malley, like there's so many other girls you could have picked from than this girl who's like a dynamic, explosive fighter who the UFC signed without having to go through Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter or anything else. Like they saw a future in this girl. They've heard the whispers at ATT. So why put her against another prospect? It didn't make sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me. I think winner gets a good push.
Gotcha. Monk, quick DFS stuff.
I love it. I like Nunes here as well. She's like the 4th cheapest fighter on the entire slate. The line is too wide. You have to go over on her, and you got to go under on your Uregi. There's a ton more high salary people that I like more than Yaz this weekend. So love the breakdown, and I like the pick too.
All right, Marshall Rojo. Brandon starts off, my friend.
I like Marshall. Rojo's a punching bag. Rojo's 16-8. He's been through it all. I think this is a tee-up fight for the young kid. Does he have flaws? Yes, absolutely. Chin up in the air, but he wrestles hard. Rojo is what his record looks like. He is what he is. I like Marshall.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, my favorite line.
Monk.
I agree. I like Marshall here, the newcomer. I think he's going to be very under-owned. He's in that spot where there's a lot of popular people around him, and who knows what's going on in Marcelo Rojo's head. His whole camp is in a whirlwind right now with everything with his coach. So I like Marshall here.
I'm on the under. Fight doesn't start round 3, minus 165. Case Rojo does land a lucky shot. I
can see Marshall knocking him out. Actually, I think he's got a great 1-2, and he hits with power. I could see him easily chinning Rojo.
Yeah, I think that the narrative, everybody seems to think Marshall needs to survive the first, and I'm not sure why that's what it is, because he went after Connor Matthews in like 10 seconds. Was like, I don't care if this guy knocks people out. Like, I give no shits. So
he ate 9 punches on the chin from Matthews too, who everyone says is like, I got the death touch. So now Rojo's gonna knock him out. Who's got?
But if you're giving me the under at the same price as a guy to win outright, like I may as well just back it up and give myself 2 win conditions. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, my most hilarious fight, Levy Valdez. I'm just gonna say I have fight to start round 3. I have Levy round 2 sub as a prop at plus 650. I don't think Valdez is that good, but Brandon, what do you got?
This is my biggest bet on the card. Actually, it's my only bet on the card as of right now. I got Mr. Natan Levy.
Nice. Right. Yeah, I love that too. Valdez was hit with 10 strikes against Frivola. 4 of those strikes knocked him down. So I love Levy here. It should be a very interesting fight right off the bat. I like Levy.
I went to refresh Twitter, and like the first thing is some OnlyFans thing because this guy Lou Sisole. I don't know if you know Lou Sisole.
Lou Sisole.
But I swear to God, his comments have just porned my Twitter up like so badly. All right, well, Cortez Ribas, we don't have to talk about.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, I know. I'm sad about that one. She was gonna whoop her ass.
Who?
I agree.
Who was gonna whoop whose ass?
Cortez.
Tracy was gonna whoop her ass.
Yeah.
I was just gonna bet the split decision there. I just figured
it was not going to happen. It would have been a very clear and dominant decision, or Tracy honestly would beat her to a pulp. Like I don't think that would have even been a close fight.
Also, that was Wheezy's favorite bet of the week too. So,
yeah.
Well, speaking of Wheezy, battle of Wheezy's guy versus my guy. Monk, start us off. Darren Damage Elkins against JSP.
I mean, JSP at 95 is probably the best play on DraftKings, possibly in my opinion. He should roll here, literally all over Elkins. I mean, it's going to be over quick, or he's going to get like 8 takedowns and all the control time. Give me Jonathan Pierce here. I like some Darren Elkins, but I think it's coming to the end for him.
Brandon, what do you got?
Well, I mean, this is my teammate, so in the air of everything that's going on right now, I should say no comment. But I love the home team.
Yep.
Okay.
And that, folks, is how you're supposed to handle it.
I'm of course betting Elkins round 3 because how do I not? Because that's all because even if I lose every Elkins round 3 bet the rest of my life, I've made.
There won't be many more either.
Yeah.
No, there won't. But like, okay, but let's put it this way. Like GM3, like him, I'm profitable on round 3 bets for him the rest of my life.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm cool not winning it. All right, Johnson Diakesi. Brandon, what do you got?
I like Mark. God, I cannot say his name to save my life, and I'm not going to try.
D1 is fine.
There you go.
D1 yes. I got Mr. Mark here. I have a weird feeling about this fight, and I don't know if I should because Mark is actually a really good striker. He manages range really, really well, and he's wrestling very well. I don't know why. This seems like the one load up spot that everyone is so confident in, and it's going to be a lock. And like I have a weird gut feeling, but I think he wins. I think he should, on paper, win handily.
Monk.
I like DKC to win, or D1 of Casey. 9,200 is a bit much to pay for him, especially with Johnson's big time takedown defense. I mean, he's getting again to the end of his rope as well. These guys are 19-19 total in the UFC, so be trepidatious, but I like some other guys more than DKC in this range.
I think I'm just going to say this real quick. I do think DKC wins, but I think he will struggle in the first round to get takedowns. I do think Johnson's like he's solid in the first round of every goddamn fight he's in. I don't think his takedown defense is terrible. Like, I don't. And if this is a 5-minute, if this is just on the feet for the first 5 minutes, I don't know. Johnson's kind of dangerous, but I'm laying off this. I favor Diakasi, but I'm laying off it. This next one I'm also laying off. Clay Guida against Scott Holtzman. I love Clay Guida. I respect Clay Guida. One of my favorite dudes just from the beginning of my fandom, like near the beginning of my fandom. I love Clay Guida. I think Holtzman wins. There's too many variables here for me to be invested. Like the layoffs, age, just no reason to get invested financially here. Brandon, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. I want nothing to do with this one. In theory, I thought I was going to love Holtzman because Holtzman trained at the lab down here. I've known him. I know how the lab guys are. Like, they don't lose. Obviously, he's not at the lab for this fight. 2 years off, got KO'd badly in his last one. And I think I said this on my podcast. And actually, my sparring session on Tuesday, right? I'm a much better striker than this kid. And he's just doing completely unpredictable, random shit. And I'm having a tough time tracking him down. And he beat my ass because I could not catch him. Holtzman had that same problem against Gamrot. And who's more awkward and crazy than Clay Guida? On paper, everything tells me Holtzman. But I have this feeling that Clay Guida is going to get this one.
And if Guida wins, you're thrilled. You're like, oh,
yeah,
Guida won. Like, it's
right.
Like, how do you not root for the guy, right?
I cannot root for him plenty. I cannot root for him plenty. I cannot root for him plenty. It's easy for me.
Ah, boo. Shame this man. Shame.
Yeah, this one's close. Holtzman off for so long. Guida, his age and whatnot. I guess the pick's going to be Holtzman because he's from my girlfriend's hometown in little Knoxville, Tennessee. So we'll go hot sauce in this one.
Okay, hot sauce is a great nickname. All right,
it is.
Brandon, start this one off. Angie and Emily Ducote, if I'm saying it correctly.
Oh
said
my God.
Ducote. That's Ducote.
I like Ducote.
Ducati, I think.
Oh, that's better. That is better.
Hold on. Emily Ducote against Angela Hill. There you go.
This is another one that's really, really tricky for me. So,
yeah.
I mean, she just fought Penne, who's obviously her teammate. The leg kicks was a huge deal. I think Emily's going to get this one. She is younger. And I don't know if it makes as much of a difference with the women. I think she's a very good striker, and I thought she's been UFC level for years and years and years now. The thing that worries me is a little bit is the volume, and Angie's just such an ultra vet, right? She stands up when she gets taken down, decent takedown defense, high volume, presses forward. She does a lot of the things that it takes to win the fight. I have to trust in the end that Emily's going to pick her apart and just be the better overall fighter. But this is another tricky one for me. I would play an over some sort here for me. I guess gun to my head, Ducati.
This is Angie Hill for me. This is much like I just said with the Elkins round 3.
Yeah, I love it.
You know, no. I mean, this is an Angie Hill fight. This is an auto split decision fight to go to split.
Oh.
It's plus 350. Angie 700. Ducati is plus 750. Take them all, Monk. You're not playing with the DFS. I don't even know why I'm asking you.
Exactly, that's true. Let's go Angie though. I like both girls, but it's always nice to see Angie get a win.
All right, Nico versus Philip the Fatty Rowe. The only guy that missed the scales today. Phil Rowe, 3.5 pounds, 2.5 pounds over the limit, 173.5. I wanted nothing to do with this fight in the first place because I see like 12 scenarios that could all play out. I just don't know which one will happen. Also, they've been buddying up all week, doing charity stuff. I liked the under before I saw that. I want no part of it, Brandon. I love Nico Price over the years, but this is a good matchup for him.
Oh, why? I don't know, man. Why do you like Nico Price?
He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
Yeah, he's fun to watch. He has a hectic, insane fights that end in the worst.
As a fan, he's fun to watch.
I forgot to tell you. I told you I watch sports. I don't watch as a fan. I watch to make money, and I'm like, this guy's crazy.
I like
Phil
sloppy
Rowe.
Technique.
Well, yeah, yes. I just hate bad decisions, sloppy technique. Anybody who wins off their back, I hate that. I hate it, whether it looks good or not. I like Phil Rowe. He's younger, faster, more dynamic. I think he hits harder. I think Nico makes way too many mistakes to beat Phil Rowe over the course of 15 minutes. And there was just my hard fast. I have a hard fast rule in gambling. It served me pretty well over the years. Never bet a white. And, I'm going to stick to that.
I love it.
It served me well for 20 years. Can I ask you one question before we move on to Monk's TFF stuff? So Nico Price is he's the white here, but also in case anybody's like new to the show, and also he's apparently training at his own gym now. Isn't that like a huge red flag?
Yeah, it can be.
It means he doesn't want to listen. It means he doesn't listen to nobody, right?
Yeah, it means you don't want to listen to anybody, and then you're the one running your own practices. Listen, if I ran my own practices for my training camps, it'd be like show up, hit the bag for like 10 minutes or so, and then kind of just chill at the gym for the rest of the time. Like,
why
nobody
can't
would be
you
there
wear
to push
like a
me
mink coat into your gym and throw one punch and be like, later, bitches? Like you could.
I do that almost every day. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's all right.
That's the dream.
All right, Monk.
Yeah.
Are you like 100% on this fight, or are you like
not quite. I'm on Olivas' side here. I like Rowe inside the distance. I think the exact same reason. Nico Price is going to make mistakes. While he is exciting to watch, he does slip up occasionally from time to time. A long layoff as well. I'll have more Rowe. Plus, he's the underdog, so you get him cheaper. I really like it. Really like Rowe here.
All right. Next fight, my Philly boy Kyle Dawkins versus your boy Eric Anders.
Your boy.
Brandon, what do you got here for this guy?
Again, one of my teammates, your boy. So I cannot speak on this one.
No
I
problem.
will say that I was trying to get Eric to gamble on that same week that we hit the bare knuckle. And I said, hey, text me, set up an account, text me, and I'll give you all the stuff. And he never did. And so he never did.
All right. Monk.
He was
that
bummed
makes
out.
that yeah, I imagine so. I think Kyle Dawkins is coming back too early. Supposedly he had a busted orbital from my guy Roman Dolidze obliterating his eye socket. I think it's a bit too soon. I like Anders' chances here. I mean, he's a huge dog. I think the line's way too wide. Love it for DraftKings as well. For some guys towards the bottom end of the salary. I like Anders here over Dawkins.
He won the Park fight. Roll Tide.
There you go.
Moving on. Roll Tide. That's all I have to say there. Joker against Roman Bays.
Roman Bays. I like Dolidze here. I like Dolidze for DraftKings. I've been on him for a while. I mean, realistically, Hermanson probably is better everywhere, but I'll be pulling for Dolidze here. I don't something about when this guy goes nuts at the end of his fights. It just I don't know. I'm a fan.
Brandon, you're gonna break the tie because I'm all over the Hermanson side this week. And Monk told me earlier in the week he's done with people that are betting Hermanson this week. I'm like, guess this is the last show we're ever doing because I feel like this is very favorable.
I like Jack.
So break the tie.
Yeah, you can only get lucky so many times. You can only fight with the worst fight IQ of all time and just complete ape and win so many times, right?
That's true.
I said this on our show. This fight to me is very similar to like the Brandon Allen, Christoph Jocko fight. Christoph is better and higher fight IQ in almost every single spot, and then got blitzed and got finished in the first round, and that can happen absolutely. But every single time, I'm always going to bet that fighter with the higher fight IQ, better technically everywhere. To me, this will probably if Levy wins, I'm gonna smash this one pretty hard for Hermanson.
Smash,
love it.
All right. Tai Tuivasa against Sergey Pavlovich. I famously said there is no way Derek Lewis is losing in Texas to a Russian. That was not a fun bet. I am on the Tua side here, and it's for one reason. And it's Trolley. It's that if he does a shoey, he will probably start a new pandemic in the country. So I'm an agent of chaos. On a side note, I think that if Tua can withstand getting hit in the body, because that's where Pavlovich likes to work. If he can avoid it, use the leg kicks. I don't know if Pavlovich has a plan B. I love Tua here at this price, but also I may be just biased. Brandon, you're going to disagree. I can already see it on your face.
No. I actually really like Ty. I think Ty's a very good kickboxer. I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. Pavlovich is a very meat and potatoes guy. I like him. He does straight punches, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he's not overly dynamic. I think Ty moves a lot better it's going to be hard for me because at the end of the day, Tai Tuivasa is a very small. He's fat, but he's small in stature at heavyweight, and Pavlovich is huge and on every supplement known to man. So, man, this is a tough one for me because skill for skill, I like Tai here. But the knockout recently, a very tough fight, lots of wear on your body. And then you got, this big Russian destroyer on the other end of things. I'm probably going to go Pavlovich. I don't feel great about it. I'm not going to touch it too hard, but I got Pav here.
I do have by the way, I do have a prop on at 10-1. I have Tai round 2 KO at 10-1, which
I like that. Yeah.
I think if it hits the second round, you got he's a good live bet. If this thing gets out of the first, I think Ty's a pretty good live bet here. Monk, there's no way you don't have 100% of this fight.
100% of this one. I'll be more on Pavlovich probably because I think he does win. I said on my show round 1 probably, but Tuivasa might be the best value on the card at 7,200. You just got to land one, and like you said, if this gets out of the first, tables have turned. So 100% on this one.
All right, 3 fights left. Mateus Nicolau against Matt. I shaved my head to make weight. Schnell.
Yeah, I love the look. Love the look.
Baller move by Schnell. Brandon, what do you got?
Matt's my boy, so this is a tough one. But I think Nicolau is. I think he's a very, very good talent. I think he's one of the best guys. When I watch flyweights, I always have to think about okay, if I was matched up with him, how would I do? Skill for skill, where do these guys rank? So I look at the flyweights a little bit different. Matt, I think I could do okay against. He's got a very good strike. He's way better than people give him credit for. This is another. I think line is very wide here. If I'm being honest, he's a good striker, but I think Nicolau has more grappling upside, and I think that kid should be top 5-10 in the division.
I think it's crazy wide. Monk, what do you got?
I love it. I think Nicolau wins most likely by decision, so I might be a little under as far as DFS goes, but I like him for cash games for sure.
I'm taking the dog shot.
There you go. I don't mind. I don't mind it.
I think the line's wide. I think I like what Schnell brings to the table. Nicolau, skill for skill, I think is better, but I don't think he's super aggressive. I think this is he's Schnell's a step down from Cop, I guess. I mean, everybody
No, he is. No. Manel Cop, yes, he's a step down. Manel's legit.
But Cop in the UFC is a little different than for UFC. Schnell at least is gonna get in his face more than probably anybody else has. Now, it might be to his detriment. Right. Schnell's a chameleon. Brandon, I say he's a chameleon, and this is to Schnell's detriment. He fights whatever fight his opponent wants. The Royval fight is the perfect example of how he is. It's why are you getting yourself in these bad exchanges? That's just what I say.
I'll never forgive him for the two-handed tap. Two-handed tap. Oh my God. Oh my God. Tap like a man. That was fuck, man.
All right. Co-main event, RDA against Barberena. Brandon, what do you got for this one?
Yeah, I don't
finish
think there's much
or no?
To say. Yeah, there's going to be a finish here. RDA is legit, man. RDA just has all the skills in the world. I think there's got to be a finish here. Barberena gets rocked almost every single fight. There's going to be one guy to put him out, and I think RDA is the best guy that he's fought. He's the most consistent guy that he's fought. He wrestles, got great submission. From everything I've heard in the training room, the guy is a legend, probably on all the EPO in the world. So I think RDA finishes him.
Yeah, I do too, and it's plus 180, which is bananas to me because.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's a big difference between getting taken down from Witt and Anthony Ivy and then getting taken down by RDA. And
don't you come for Anthony Ivy, Fury legend?
Well, but Barberena kept getting up. People are oh, RDA couldn't finish Moicano. It's well, first of all, it wasn't RDA's fault. It was the ref's fault. It was his corner's fault.
Yeah, that was a mauling. That was
uncomfortable. And now Moicano is the Twitter legend.
Moicano is now Moicano.
Joe Hogan! He's Twitter legend now because of his post-fight interview. I mean, RDA did everything in his goddamn power to finish him. And a lot of refs would have stepped in and stopped it. So it's not a killer instinct thing. I think RDA is going to do the same thing to Barberena. And look, man, Barberena's beating up all my favorite dudes. He beat up Lawler. He beat up Matt Brown. Fuck him. I mean, out of respectfully, but stop beating up my fucking dudes, man. What are you doing? So maybe RDA is coming to lose rest. Uncle Lou, he's helping him out. He's I'll take care of this, buddy. And then then And, Jim Miller can, avenge it too or whatever.
Right.
Monk, how much of this fight you got? Is there can you justify any Barberena?
No, I really can't unless you think he's going to KO Dos Anjos in like the first or beginning of the second, which I don't see. He looked good. He looked okay against Lawler. I thought Lawler was pieced him up in the first round, and then Lawler just died in the second. So Barberena, looked great in that second round. I like Dos Anjos here for all the takedowns, for all the control time. I'd love to see a finish here. 96 is pretty expensive, but I like it for cash, and I will have him in some bigger tournaments as well.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the main event. Holland and Wonder Boy. I should mention, because I think this is important in the capping, Jack Black is coming out with Stephen Wonder Boy.
Oh, I heard he wasn't. Is he now? That's awesome.
Brandon, can you confirm this, that Jack Black is coming out with Stephen Thompson for this fight?
I think he's not. I think that was.
I heard he wasn't.
He can't.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever done karaoke?
No.
Are you crazy? Go do karaoke. Maybe you're not. You'll do karaoke at some point in your life. Trust me, it's a lot more fun than you think it is. My pick here is over 2.5 at -140. I think this is going to be a distance striking fight. I don't think Holland is going to go. I actually think this might be more boring than people think. I think it'll be distance striking range. They're both pretty durable. Yeah, I'm with Wheezy. Like, they're both pretty durable. And this whole Thompson's 39 thing. Yeah, Brandon, one of my favorite boxers of all time is Bernard Hopkins. And
are you messing with me right now? Are you messing with me right now?
That I like Hopkins?
Yeah. Did you say that because of me?
No.
I tweet about Bernard once a week. I love Bernard Hopkins. My favorite.
Dude, I'm a Philly. I'm a Philly guy, dude.
I know, but there's a lot of Philly boxers. Come on, Danny Garcia, that's not your guy?
No, but I'm also old. No, Garcia's all right. But what I liked about Hopkins is he was able to fight at a high level at an older age because he hadn't sustained, he was in jail. So he hadn't sustained damage. I'm saying is at his age, he had taken really no damage because he fought intelligently. And he was away from the sport.
He's amazing.
But I'm saying is in his late 40s, he's not wearing the body of a guy in his late 40s. He's got the body of early 30s. Yeah. So that's why people are oh, he's the ageless wonder. It's because he knows how to manage how his the damage he's taken in his life.
A few things with Bernard though.
He's my fucking dude, man. I love Bernard Hopkins.
I did not
amazing,
know you
tweeted about him.
Oh, dude, I tweet about him all the time. Actually,
man,
this week
dude.
I was gonna get a hold of Top Boxer, the guy in Pakistan that makes custom gloves for everybody, and I was gonna ask him if he could make me that Bernard Hopkins mask. I want my next walkout. I want the Bernard Hopkins mask. I think it's sick. A custom leather one. But there is one thing with Bernard Hopkins is Bernard Hopkins, he has never broken his diet in his entire life. That's something not a lot of guys can say. And he's always been in shape, run miles and miles every day. And he did fight that great style. So that's a lifelong discipline, and not all old guys are like that. People like to party and eat, especially when they have money. Bernard never wavered from that insane diet that he's ever been on. So I think Bernard's maybe a once in a lifetime guy, right? A 50-year-old that won a title that's not going to happen for a long time again.
No, it won't. But all right, so back to my point, just with Wonder Boy, he's not a 39-year-old that's taken a fuck ton of damage. He really hasn't.
When he loses bad, he gets wrestled. So yeah, you're
I
right.
mean, he got knocked out by Pettis, but he typically doesn't take a ton of damage. He kind of mitigates. He's hard to hit. I honestly can see this. They're joking around. They're having a great time. Holland and Wonder Boy, Holland's in the middle, solving crimes, and now we're best friends. And Wonder Boy, I could kind of see this being a lot more boring than people think it's going to be. It's going to be from distance. I don't think Holland wants to take him down. He should, but I don't think he will. I think he'll kind of be I want to outbox him. And I think I kind of think Wonder Boy by decision isn't a terrible play here. What do you think, Brandon?
I am on Kevin finishing him. I actually disagree.
Okay.
I think Wonder Boy gets clipped a lot, and I think only so long you can fight with that hands down style. Listen to Chael Sonnen say it. I remember Chael. He says a lot of crazy stuff, but he was talking about Anderson Silva, and he said you can only fight with your hands down so long before one day you're gonna have to pay the piper. And Wonder Boy's been losing here or there. He gets clipped in a few fights. Even if he doesn't go down and get rocked, he gets clipped a lot, right? He's not untouchable. He's not James Toney in the pocket back in the day, right? He does get clipped. And the one thing with Holland, right? The reason that Wonder Boy is successful is because he throws punches and kicks from angles that people don't see, and he's throwing feints and so much stuff to get your mind working. Holland is not super traditional in his boxing, right? He throws punches from insane angles. Honestly, his pure technique is not good. He's always off balance when he's throwing. It's coming from the craziest, funkiest angles, and how he generates power is beyond me, but he does. And the one thing that I just see in this fight is Holland walking him down, getting into a quick firefight. He's 6'3". He's not the short guys that Wonder Boy's been fighting before. That hands down style. Yeah, he's going to lean back, and Holland's long arms are going to clip him from an angle that Wonder Boy doesn't see coming. So for me, I like Holland inside the distance. It might be a crazy take, but
his power is from solving crimes in Gotham, by the way.
That's it. And hey, my hard fast rules, never bet a white. So I'm going to stick to it.
Man, these are like, I only got to change 2 bets, but they're 2 bets that may swing my night.
Get off whites. Yeah, I like Holland. I like Holland too. I don't know how much Thompson I'm really going to be playing. I don't know how well he does even if he wins as far as DraftKings, what kind of points he puts up. I think Holland has a much higher ceiling. He's only 8,500. That's very cheap, I think, for him in this matchup. So give me some Holland for sure. And him saying, Brandon saying, "Don't bet the whites" always reminds me of one of my favorite lines from a movie, Fear of a Black Hat. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. He goes, "Don't shoot till you see the whites." And he goes, "Of their eyes? No. Whose eyes?" Just don't shoot till you see the whites. Don't bet whites at all. I love the take. It's got to be plus EV. It's got to be plus EV to not bet whites. Has to.
Somebody run the numbers. Wheezy, get on that stat.
Yeah, for sure.
Wheezy.
I have to put a new column in my spreadsheet now. White or W or NW.
Brandon, in all fairness, I have a lot of his data in the database. I think that's a column we're missing, but
yeah, we're on it now. We're on it.
So there's 2 columns I have to add, that and nut shots. Brandon, I don't know if you know about the wave that's taken over MMA Twitter about what a yam bag special is.
Yeah, you told me last time, and I haven't seen many nut shots since then. Although I got nut shotted on Tuesday.
There's been none. But but like let's say instead of being a successful fighter that made a lot of money on betting bare knuckle, I'm a middling fool in his mid-40s that accidentally branded himself with the fact that anytime somebody in a mixed martial arts fight gets kicked in the balls, my Twitter blows the fuck up.
It's like the bat signal. It's the bat.
What I'm trying to tell you is we all have different levels of success. So
honestly, James fumbled a bag. If James really wanted to do this and do this right, he doesn't have to fix fights and have guys losing fights. He literally just has to have a guy go out and kick somebody in the nuts enough times, and you're going to get a plus 8,000, whatever it is, 3,000 point deduction. He really fumbled the bag. The guy doesn't even have to lose the fight. What if he banks 2 rounds? And then he comes out and does it. Oops, we got a draw. You bet the draw prop and you bet
the
so that's drawbacks. So just before I sign us out,
James, you fucked up, James.
Brandon, I just want to tell you this quick story. Like years and years, like this is when I was like 31. So this is like the 60s. I moved into like a new apartment with like my buddy Justin. He's like, we got the cable going, and he's like, all right, like you want to smoke weed? And I'm like, okay. And this was HD Net. This is Mark Cuban's channel. So he owned everything that wasn't UFC. So or Strikeforce. So it was like Bas Rutten was the commentator for like all the shit in the studio. But they're showing shit. I'm like, cool, they're showing stuff from Japan, but they're also showing shit from like Atlantic City. Like where like it was like whatever. So the first fight, we're moving into an apartment, like we're taking bong hits. It's like, oh, this is cool. The first fight they showed us something from Atlantic City. This fucking bro got hit in the nuts 7 times in the first round before they waved it off.
Wow.
I should have known not to live with this guy. I'm just letting you know, like, I should have been like, I want my deposit back.
Who was the ref in that fight?
I'm the fuck out of here. The weed was good. The fight was not. I should have moved the fuck out, like, immediately.
That was your calling. Yeah,
Brandon, please tell the people where they can find you, what you're doing, and how we can all make you more money.
Make me more money.
Well, we're happy to, if we can make you more money, we are happy to help.
Yeah, I don't need people signing up for my stuff. To be left alone. I'm just kidding. Go guys. You can look up Santino DeFranco on YouTube. We want to grow that channel. We're a little late sometimes. We're very busy. We run a Patreon and a Discord too, but we'll make you guys kind of search for that stuff. I can't have it just that easy for everybody. So
Like an Easter
YouTube's
egg.
good for now.
Dude, there's, by the way, if you, I imagine everybody that's watching this chat is like, I mean, I know this chat. They're all people that watch your show. If the people in this chat that have not watched your show, like, dude, they're fucking ridiculously hilarious and like, they're very insightful. But also, there's very few shows in this channel, in this medium, that I think are funny and insightful. They're one of them.
Hey, have you guys met each other in person?
I'd love to.
No, have you two met each other?
No,
Yes.
not in person.
No, I mean, like, I'd love to. We just started this in February, man. I know.
Oh,
it's,
okay.
Brandon, I know it's hard to believe that I'm such an internet sensation after just 9 months, but like, I get it. But like, I'm gonna make a trip out to Chicago. I'd like to soon because like,
Hey, that's close to where I'm at. Yeah,
Wheezy's out there. I don't know if you know Tim Troiano, our guy. Like, there's tons of people in the space that live in that like area, and like, it's cold in Pennsylvania, so like, I may as well just go to a colder place. Like, no problem. I'll just go to somewhere cold.
Yeah, hey, I think it's good. So the reason I would say that Santino and I have like really good chemistry, so you got to remember he's been my coach for 7 years, something like that, since I was 18 years old. There's been times where he's shooting videos and I moon the camera and he says, "Fuck you, I'm gonna kill you." We're sparring and I hit him a little too hard. He says, "Fuck you, I'm gonna kill you." Starts throwing head kicks at my face. There's been times where he's called me a hater and I said, "Fuck you," and I'll leave the gym. We've been through a lot together, so
awesome.
that leads to some good chemistry over time. Yes.
I mean, look, for what it's worth, I send Monk a picture of my dick every single day.
Yeah, and I tell him, "Fuck you."
That's a good one. I'm going to Santino that right now. What time is it in Orlando?
There you go.
It's 6:41.
Who doesn't like getting a dick pic with the sun's out? So
no, but like, I agree. Like, it's cool to meet like these people. Weird fact: I know Bill Algio's mentor, so like, that's weird.
Ooh,
I went to high school with him.
I love me some Algio.
Eric Carner, his trainer, like his crew. I graduated high school with him in New Hope, Pennsylvania, and he was in his corner for his last fight. I'm like, look, and I'm like tweeting. I'm like, look at this bald, ugly motherfucker, Carner, and I'm tweeting at Algio. I'm like, you still employ this fucking? Because he like his gym's like 20 minutes from me, and I like, dude, those guys are badasses, man. That is not like. Crew. But that's not like a gym where it's like, oh, you want to learn martial arts. That is a gym where it's like, if you don't have a background, like, we're gonna murder you. Like, that's
you get beat up.
That is it. No, and like, I respect that so much. Like, and Carner, like, he was a psycho dude. He used to like murder. He used to like wreck people when we played soccer in high school. Like 15 years old. He's like, oh, I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna like bust his ACL. I'm like. They didn't say that, but like, we're 15. We don't know what fucking ACLs are.
I mean, hey.
But he's like busting people up like bad. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna be like the goalie. That's like, you know, hey man, your defense like.
Hey, we need a goalie.
All right, so we gave Brandon the advertisement. As far as the two of us,
you know what to do.
You know where to find us. Like, what's more to say? Like, guys, good luck this weekend. Good luck on your bets. Have a happy. And Brandon, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Spur of the moment, bro.
All right.
Hey, yeah, thank you guys. I was just sitting on my couch trying to figure out how I can bet on bare knuckle, and I was like, all right, let's hop on. So thank you for the invite.
But I'll give you the soccer bets. So like, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Guys have a great night. Goodbye. I can't believe we did an hour 15 again.
Every time.